Hello and welcome to Sound Librarian. I'm Stefan Schutz. Today I'm going to have a look at two games together. They are on different consoles and they're both very old games. We're going to have a look at the original Super Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog. Now I'm not looking at these as a Mario versus Sonic thing. I'm going to be comparing the two, but not so much as one against the other, but more they are both very, very excellent examples of a long time ago when the benchmark was set. And what I mean by that is that these are two very excellent examples of very early platform games where the audio is really tight and really well put together. And comparing the two, in a lot of ways, defines where platform games originated from the audio point of view. And we're going to have a look at the both of them because I think in very many ways, the two of them combined influenced generations of platform games to come. Let's have a look at Super Mario Brothers and Sonic the Hedgehog. So obviously, Mario has the limitations of the age of the platform. The original Nintendo NES has been around for many years, and just simply the capabilities of the platform when it came out were very limited compared with the platforms we have today. However, this is not something that really needs to be considered, because what we're actually looking at here is what they did with what they had available. Super Mario Brothers is an iconic game, and as a result, the sound and music has become iconic as well. And I mean both the sound and the music. The soundtrack is something that is well and truly known with people all around the world who are interested in the game industry or just play games, but also the actual sound effects. The jumping sound of Mario has become an iconic sound. Now, whereas Mario is all about jumping, Sonic is all about speed, running and speed. Yes, it's true that Sonic the Hedgehog is a much more recent game than Mario by quite a few years. So you can see that obviously the quality of the graphics is better, and in fact on this particular version the sound has stereo elements, whereas Mario was purely mono. But these are still, I still consider these two to be contemporaries. And what I mean by that is that they are both examples of the very earliest generations of platformy games and what needed to be communicated to the players. In both cases, you'll notice they have very oversaturated color palettes for the visuals. So lots of bright colors. And the sound is the equivalent. We have really bright, happy, friendly sounds that are full of energy and designed to really complement the high energy, fun nature of the games. Both of them also have multiple themes. Here we can hear the secondary theme for Sonic in the sort of floating ring collecting environment. And for Super Mario, the secondary theme is for when you are in the underground zones. So both of them have multiple types of music for different circumstances that provide you with the environmental feelings for those particular locations. These were the AAA games of their time, purely and simply. Mario and Sonic were two of the biggest selling games for their respective platforms when those platforms were the current platforms. So what we're looking at here are the AAA games of those generations, and they, as I said, set the benchmark for the quality level that was expected for these type of high quality games. And I really do believe that Mario and Sonic, in their own way, really did define the bar for sound production, as well as other things, but for sound production for platform games. Now, there's a couple of things that are significant here that I want to draw attention to. Both Sonic and Mario have really what I have to describe as the Japanese phenomenon. The Japanese have an amazing ability to write short but extremely catchy melodies. And both Mario and Sonic are two of the best examples of this. The ability to be able to take only a few bars of music that are limited to only having a few notes playable at any one time, because both of these platforms had limitations. You could only have a couple of different voices playing at the same time, so you couldn't do complex chords. Yet within these confines, the composers for both of these games have managed to write really quite intense melodic material that is short and actually very repetitive. And yet, the Mario theme and the Sonic theme are both themes that you feel that you can just listen to over and over again without them getting really annoying. And this is actually an achievement in itself. And I really do believe the reason why I refer to this as the Japanese phenomenon is because the Japanese are better at doing this than anybody else. The Japanese have an ability to be able to create very engaging thematic material out of very short musical examples, and they do it far better than I think most other cultures. And maybe it's because most of the early video games were designed by Japanese. It was just a skill that was learnt there. I'm not sure of the reasoning behind it, but I find it very interesting. And again, as I was saying, the sounds that are used, they've developed a system of using almost a cartoon equivalent of a sound palette. A lot of Western games have far more hardcore, serious sounding sound design in them, whereas the Japanese seem to be masters at creating the fun type of sounds. And again, I will draw attention again to both Mario's jumping sound and Sonic's jumping sound. These are both really fun sounds that have been created with the very simple mechanics that were available on these consoles. So both of these games have multiple different pieces of music that are used to represent different environments. They have unique sound design with the limitations of the tools that were available. And they have really catchy, short but repetitive pieces of music. And this is why I think these two are definitely contemporaries. They're on different platforms and they were developed at different times, but they both are very good examples of where 2D platforming games were defined in a lot of ways. And of course, both Sonic and Mario have become iconic in their own right. And the musical themes from these have been used over and over again in sequel versions of Mario and Sonic games. But they've also, I believe that both themes have been turned into orchestral versions for live performances, have had numerous versions done by both amateurs and professionals as remixes, and just in general have become very popular tracks, partly because of the popularity of the games, but also because they are successfully written pieces of music. Okay, so Mario and Sonic. This is actually really the first time I've closely looked at Mario. I never owned a Nintendo when I was younger. I always had Sega, both a Master System and a Genesis or Mega Drive. So I played Sonic when I was younger. Now I'm having a chance to have a really good look at Mario. They're both very, very excellent games. And they've both got very, very good sound for the time in which they were made. So these, I think, are really the starting point and the benchmark for where platform games developed. And we can thank those two games for a lot of what we have today in the platform genre. I hope this has been interesting. Keep an eye out for more videos in the future. Thank you very much for watching.